Now we've got to go back in, just as we did last week. We're adding $2,000 to these line items. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines with money in them. So I'm just going to quick divide 2,000 by 5. I'm going to add $500 to each line. 1430, 780, 56, 179. I should be adding $400 to each one, not $500. So this becomes 1330. This becomes, you can double click in the cell 2 to change it, 680. Double click in this one. 400 is 5,579. Wow, I made a big mistake there. 5,579. 1,000 and 2,400. So is this number $2,000 more than this number? Not exactly. It's $9 off. Here's my mistake. It should be 579. There we go. $2,000 more. So we go down and we do the same thing here in world languages. And I'm just doing this to do this quickly. Obviously, you don't necessarily want to follow this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 lines that have money in them will just increase each of those by 2,000 divided by 4, or 500. 1860 plus 500 is 2360. 560 with add 500 is 1,060. 358 plus 500 is 858. 132 plus 500 is 632. Is this $2,000 more than this? Yes, it is. And we just go on and we do that with all of these. I'll do one more and then I'll do one of the 4,000 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4 lines with money in them. Each one gets 500. So this is 3,075. This is 1,060. 4918 plus 500 is 5418. 1220 plus 500 is 1720. Is this number $2,000 more than this number? Yes. So let's skip down to one of the $4,000 ones. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines with money in them. We need to divide this number by 5. So let's do that. We equals sum, open parenthesis, this cell divided by 5, close parenthesis, equals $909.40. So we can do those calculations. We can do this cell, which would be equals sum this cell plus 909.40, close parenthesis. There's that. And then we can just drag this formula down. Now we can't. We have to take all of these out. There we go. So is this number $4,547 more than this number? Let's check it out. Equals sum, open parenthesis, this number minus this number, close parenthesis, $547. Bingo, we're right on the money. Get rid of this, get rid of this, and we go on all the way down. So now I'm going to show you that I've gone through and I've added $2,000 to the small line items, $2,000, $2,000, and $4,000. In this case, this was the language arts books, and this is where we made the odd number to make everything come out evenly. These numbers are equal: $4,547, $4,000, $2,000, $2,000, $4,000, $4,000, $4,000, $4,000, $2,000, $2,000, $4,000, $2,000, and $4,000. $4,000 again. And here's the important thing, the summary. Does the total that was allocated for my budget when we started out equal how much I have now budgeted for the 2011-2012 school year? And the answer is yes. These numbers are both the same. So we have successfully allocated the line item budgets in a way that makes them all come out the way they should. Now we got to go back and look at them and decide whether these preliminary allocations that we made make sense. Some of these lines grew tremendously. Here's a line that only had $280 in it to begin with, but we added $400 to it, so now that it's $680. Is that the right thing to do? Now we can go in and decide whether we've made the right allocations, and we can cut some lines or we can increase other lines, but at least we've got something to work with. Now we'll move to Sheet 2 to finish up this activity. We click on Sheet 2, and here we need to complete these columns. First, we want to look at the percent of change from the 2010-2011 budget to the 2011-2012 budget. How much does this increase from $89.89 to $10,989 represent in terms of a percentage? So to figure the percentage, we take the amount of the change, which is $2,000, and we divide that by the original amount, which is the 2010-2011 budget. So we'll be dividing 2,000 divided by 89.89. But of course we'll do this with a formula. The first thing we want to do is make sure that we display our results as percents. So we select the entire column, go to Format Cells, Percentages is already selected, and normally we display percentages with 2 decimal places, so that's already selected, at least on my computer. On yours, just select percentage and 2 decimal places and click OK, and everything in this column will then display properly. So we're going to write a formula, equals sum, and we're taking the amount of change, or cell D5, and we're dividing that by the original amount, which is the budgeted amount for 2010-2011, which is cell B5. Close parentheses, 22.25%. Now we've computed that, and we can just click and drag the formula all the way down, and Excel will compute everything for us to 2 decimal places. Notice, because there's nothing in line 22, we get this nonsense down here. We'll get that all the way across as we do these computations. We'll just leave it there for now, and we'll get rid of them all at the end.